It is finally time to start the 2024 playoffs. The NLDS, we had the best record in baseball, so we are taking on the San Diego Padres, who won the wildcard game over the Dodgers, but we do have two 100-plus win teams here going at it in an unusual wildcard situation. Two rivals going at it, Giants and Padres. Chris Sale going for the Giants, Luis Patino going for the Padres. Let's get into it. So starting things off in this game, top half of the first inning, Manny Machado, right off the bat, a solo shot to lead off the game, puts the Padres up 1-0, and then Sale would proceed by hitting Robertson, then giving up a single to Hoskins, brings up Franmil Reyes, who strikes out. After that, Urias strikes out, so 2 down, and then another walk to Will Myers, and Travis Swaggerty, with a grand slam, puts the Padres on top 5-0 in the first inning as Sale gets rocked around. He would eventually get out of the inning, move things on to the bottom of the first, where Fuentes starts the things off with a double. So he's on second base, Peterson flies out, then Baez doubles, but Fuentes is thrown out trying to score, so onto the top of the second, where Machado will walk. Robertson also walks, and then that's going to be the end of Chris Sale's day as J.B. Bukauskas comes on, strikes at the next two batters, but Luis Urias drives in a run, makes it a 6-0 game. Move things on to the top of the third, Travis Swaggerty lines out, and then Francisco Mejia hits a home run. Now we're on to the top of the fourth, where Robertson grounds out and Rhys Hoskins hits a home run, makes it an 8-0 lead for the Padres, as they are just starting to run away with this one now. Bukauskas then strikes out Reyes, gives up a double to Urias. Myers walks, Swaggerty walks, bases loaded spot, Mejia flies out, so still 8-0. We then move on to the top of the sixth, Braylon Marquez, now on the hill for the Giants, gives up a single to Urias. He swipes second. Myers then reaches on the error, and Swaggerty drives them both in, as that would make it a 10-0 lead. Things would not get any better for the Giants, as the final score in this one was 15-1 for the Padres over the Giants. 19 hits for San Diego. Rhys Hoskins was 3 for 5 in the day, scored 4 times. He had 2 home runs himself. Travis Swaggerty had a grand slam plus a 2 RBI double. Sale only lasted 1 inning, got knocked around real good in this start. Not what you saw from Chris Sale all year long, or even all this entire duration of the franchise. Just an extremely uncharacteristic start from Chris Sale. So down 1-0 in the series now, moving on to Game 2, where it's Derek Rodriguez going to be taking on Chris Paddock of the Padres here in San Fran. So D-Rod on the hill, taking on the Padres. Travis Jankowski is going to start things off with a single. After that, Robertson comes up. He is going to proceed to strike out. After that, it brings up Rhys Hoskins, who singles. So first and second, Franmil Reyes would then strike out. So 2 down, brings up Machado. He pops up, and that's going to be a scoreless inning for D-Rod, unlike Chris Sale in Game 1. So bottom of the first now, Ordonez singles and then swipes second. Fuentes strikes out. Baez strikes out, and Joey Gallo hits a 2-run blast, gets the Giants out in front 2-0. Move things along to the top half of the third. Jankowski strikes out, Robertson walks, Hoskins walks, Franmil then bunts them over, Machado then walks, so bases loaded for Fernando Tatis Jr., a 2 RBI single ties the game, and then Francisco Mejia drives in a run, the trail runner gets thrown out, so the Padres have a 3-2 lead. Bottom of the third, Peter Mooney pinch hits for D-Rod, so his game is over. He would strike out, though. Ordonez then doubles. Fuentes walks. Baez then drives one of them in as the trail runner gets thrown out, so it's a tie game at 3. On to the bottom of the fourth now. Jock Peterson still facing Chris Paddock with no energy. He singles. The next 2 batters get out. Bart singles, and then Tanner Scott was on. He's going to stay on for the next inning, so he also gets an AB, and he actually singles, so it's bases juiced for Jordan Montgomery, and he gets out of it. So it's still a 3-3 game. Bottom of the fourth now, as top of the fifth now, as Tanner Scott allows a double, then walks Reyes, and then Machado drives in 2 with a double, so make it a 5-3 lead for the Padres. Scott still on the hill on the top of the 6th. Travis Swaggerty singles, brings up Urias, who pinch hits, lays then a sac bunt, and then Jankowski drives him in with an RBI single. So it's a 6-3 lead now for the Padres. On to the bottom of the 7th, where Robbie Erlin came on for San Diego. Gives up a single to Ordonez. He would proceed to go and swipe second base, gets himself into scoring position. Then Gilberto Fuentes draws a walk. Javi Baez would single, so it's bases juiced for Jock Peterson, who they're going to pinch hit for with, or Gallo then flies out, then Jock Peterson's going to get pinch hit for with Peterson against the left-handed pitcher. And then they would counter by bringing in Coda Glover to counter him. So a right-hander versus right-hander. Fielder's choice run comes in, 6-4 ball game as Posey reaches on a fielder's choice. Then Ramos would ground out, so it's 6-4 game. Moving on to the bottom of the 8th, where Trey Winginter is now the pitcher for the Padres. Gives up a solo shot to Joey Bart. We then move on to the bottom of the 9th after Bukauskas works a scoreless top half of the 9th. So bottom of 9, a 1-run ball game, 6-5 Padres in the lead. Let's dive in and see if we can make a comeback. Padres bringing on their lights-out closer, Josh Hader, the lefty, and he'll be facing the big bat of Javi Baez leading off the inning. 2 hits on the day already, works the 2-1 count, sends a ball out to deep left field, gives it a ride, but it's going to be caught by a Jankowski right at the track. Then Joey Gallo hits a hard grounder to first base. Easy out for Hoskins. So 2 down, brings up Buster Posey, who came on to pinch hit earlier. His second AB of the day, sends one out to deep left field, but this one's going to be caught on the fly by Jankowski, as the Giants did not have a rally in their bones, and the Padres have won the first 2 games here in San Francisco, so they have a 2-0 series lead, and the Giants have their backs against the wall. They are now facing elimination, as we'll move on to Game 3, where the Giants are looking to keep things alive and maybe pull off some magic like they did 2 seasons ago against the Nationals in the NLDS. The NLDS now moves to San Diego at Petco Park as the Giants are looking to avoid elimination. They got blown out of the water in Game 1 and then lost a 1-run affair in Game 2. So here in Game 3, it's the 2023 Cy Young winner going for the Padres, and he'll be opposed by the 2024 Cy Young winner in the National League. Obviously didn't go in deep into Game 1, so he is available here in Game 3. Giants lineup 1-9, followed by the Padres lineup 1-9. Bottom half of the first inning, 2 quick outs from Sale, and then he follows it up by a 4-pitch walk to Rhys Hoskins, followed by a 4-pitch walk to Franmil Reyes, so first and second brings up Luis Urias. Works a full count, and that's another 2-out walk, so bases are juiced for Will Myers, who has yet to get a hit in this National League Division Series, and he's going to go down looking on a slider that catches that inside half of the plate, and it's still scoreless. Move things on to the top of the 4th now after a bunch of nothing happened, and who else but Javi Baez to get the scoring started. Launches one over that left center field fence, over the leaping glove of Travis Swaggerty, and it's a solo shot for El Mago. Makes it a 1-0 lead for the Giants. Bottom of the 4th now, Chris Sale back on the hill, obviously. A single gets through the right side of the infield for Urias. He's on first base to lead off the inning. After that, Will Myers draws a walk, so it's first and second, nobody out. Bit of a jam, but Sale proceeds to get a ground ball over to third base. That's a 5-4-3 double play. So runner on third, 2 outs, and then Mejia goes down on the back foot slider, and it's still a 1-0 lead for the Giants. Sale pitching well in this one. Top half of the 6th, Lorenzo Ordonez, 2-out hitting, or 2-strike hitting, I should say. Bloops one in front of Myers. He would then try to get himself in a scoring position by swiping second. He gets it, but it was because the shortstop Urias dropped the throw down. So he's on second base. Fuentes then hits a single into right field, so back-to-back hits. It's now first and third for El Mago as he makes this ball disappear over that left field fence into the Metal Supply Company building. A 3-run shot for Baez, his second dinger of the game, makes it a 4-0 lead for the Giants. So Jordan Montgomery now comes on to relieve Lamet, and in the top half of the 6th, gets a ground ball from Joey Gallo. Pulls the first baseman Hoskins off the bag, so that's going to be a reach on error, and then Jock Peterson comes up fights off an inside pitch, gets a hit against a lefty, not his strong suit. Gallo goes first to third, and then Ramos hits a chopper to third base. Machado makes it a 5-4-3 double play. A run does come in, though, make it a 5-0 lead. Giants would take that score into the 9th inning, where Jason Tuttman came on, and he would get the pinch hitter Fernando Tatis Jr. to fly out to deep left. As the Giants take a game in this series, the series is now at 2 games to the Padres, 1 game to the Giants. They need to win Game 4 tomorrow to stay alive, obviously, and then force the series back to San Francisco. Javi Baez, player of the game honors, 2 home runs for him, drove in 4 of the 5 runs for the Giants in this ballgame. Chris Sale rebounded from his disastrous start in Game 1 by pitching 6 shutout innings against the Padres, struck out 6 batters, only gave up 3 hits. He did walk 5 batters, but that did not end up hurting him in the long run. It's time for Game 4. The Padres now up in the series 2-1 as the Giants were able to win Game 3 with a 5-0 victory, and the Padres are going to be turning to Mackenzie Gore, the left-hander, for the 2nd time this postseason, and he will be opposed by the rookie right-hander Marco Murillo. Had a great regular season, and we'll just have to see how he fares in the postseason. Giants lineup 1-9, followed by the Padres lineup 1-9. We'll start things off bottom half of the 1st inning. After a quick out from Murillo, he is then giving up a little bloop hit here to Daniel Robertson, so a runner on first base. Brings up Rhys Hoskins, gives him a cutter that does not cut, stays over the plate, and Hoskins splits the right center field gap. That's going to score Robertson all the way from first base, and Hoskins has himself an RBI double. Padres on the board 1-0. Brings up Franmil Reyes, who has been quiet in this NLDS, 1 for 11 in the series. But he is due, and boy is he due. Hits a 2-run shot here in the bottom of the 1st inning, and Murillo with another disaster 1st inning like he had against the Braves in the regular season, as Reyes makes it a 3-0 game. Bottom of the 2nd, and Murillo still on the hill, gives up a hit here to Travis Swaggerty, brings up the pitcher Mackenzie Gore, lays down a bunt. That's going to move the runner up to second base with 1 down now. So brings up Travis Jankowski, as Swaggerty was not okay with just second as he goes and swipes third base. So runner on third, 1 out. Jankowski then bloops one over the head of the second baseman Moran and makes it a 4-0 game. After that, it's Daniel Robertson hitting a ball down the left field line that gets into the corner, and that's going to be a 2-bagger. Jankowski holds up at third, so second and third, 1 out, as they intentionally walk Rhys Hoskins. Don't even bother with him. So 1 down, bases loaded. That would be the end of Murillo's day. Gives up 4 runs, and he has credit for all the base runners in the game. Robert Gsellman comes on, looking for a ground ball. A generous ball 4 call there to Franmil as a run gets walked in. It's now a 5-0 game. Manny Machado, who has been on fire in this NLDS, comes up to hit a 1-2 count to him. Ground ball that Gsellman needs, but Baez could not get to it, so another run comes in. It's now a 6-0 game. Bases loaded, 1 out still. Tatis, dribbler to third base, Gallo to second, to first base, and Tatis beats it out on the back end, so another run comes in. A 7-0 game. Gsellman would get out of the inning, but it would be a 7-0 lead for the Padres. Now, how about the Giants' bats? Did they have a rally in their bones? Joey Gallo powers one out to right center field, dies at the wall. Swaggerty makes the play. Later on in the inning, Connor Panis, hard hit ball right at Rhys Hoskins, steps in the bag. End of the 4th inning. On to the 6th now. Javi Baez, long fly ball, left field, dies at the wall, put away by Jankowski. Later in the inning, Joey Gallo knows they need base runners, so he lays down a bunt against the shift, gets on first base. So runner on first, 2 outs. Moran trying to work a walk, check swing on 3-2, goes down looking. Still an 8-0 game now, as the Padres did tack on 1 more, and then Gilberto Fuentes line drive here with 1 out. Franmil Reyes makes an over-the-shoulder catch. Joey Bart draws a 2-out walk, so he's on first. Brings up Buster Posey as he pinch hits in the top of the 7th. Sends a ball out to deep center field, but not deep enough as Swaggerty puts it away. And that was pretty much the story for the Giants. As we move on to the 9th, Robbie Erlin up, Panis chops one, hustling down to first base. Erlin steps in the bag on the toss from the first baseman Hoskins, and the San Diego Padres have come out on top in the National League Division Series over the Giants for a second season in a row. Last year, the Padres won the division and beat the Giants after the Giants won the wildcard game over the Phillies. This year was a reverse situation where we had three incredible teams in the NL West. The Dodgers lose out to the Padres in the wild card, and then the Padres are just our kryptonite in this damn NLDS. Franmil Reyes was doing nothing all series long, and then he just breaks out in this game, hits 2 home runs, drives in 4 runs by himself in this 8-0 win. Mackenzie Gore was flat out unhittable in this game for the Giants. Did walk 3 batters, but he only gave up 2 hits, no runs through 8 innings strong. Then Robbie Erlin came on and closed the door to send the Padres on to the NLCS for a chance to go to the World Series for the second time in 2 years. As last year we saw they lost to the Boston Red Sox in that World Series, so obviously they're going to be trying to get back there and get revenge. But with that being said, that's going to be an unfortunate end of this episode as the Giants get first rounded by the other 100-win team in the National League, in the Padres. The next video you see will be the off-season, as we have quite a few decisions to make on guys on expiring contracts, so next season's roster could end up looking pretty different, with either new faces brought in or faces from AAA being promoted to the big leagues and taken over in big league spots. Obviously, we will see all that in the off-season video, so I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying, the goddamn Padres, man!